So I get the pleasure of challenging you, Barbara. Let's imagine that this is an open house. And many times in an open house, members are asked to share a little quick speech about their experience in Toastmasters and how it's enriched their lives. So, Barbara, would you give us a 2 to 3 minute talk about your experience and how Toastmasters has enriched your life?
Sure. Well, I joined Toastmasters in 2012 at a club called Abby Talk, which was created by a company that I worked for because they also hired a lot of employees that came from different countries. And they felt it was very important for somebody to be proficient in English, to be a good speaker, as well as use the best grammar as possible. And I later became the VP of membership, and it turned out to be very socially engaging, and we really had a lot of fun. Since that time, I joined Heart to Heart, my current club, which I found to have a very supportive group of people that really inspire one another to do better. And there's mentorship, and people take on different roles when called upon. And there's social engaging before the meeting. And I've just found that through this engagement, I've become a more proficient speaker and more comfortable in sharing all my different stories, to use more body language, vocal variety. And I've just found that Ralph Waldo Emerson said, it's the journey, not the destination. And people ask me, why do all these funny things keep happening to you? And I tell them, well, if you listen carefully, they're really not that funny at the time. But in hindsight, they could become hilarious. So, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be on Toastmaster TV. I've done that 3 times. So it was really kind of fun to have that kind of professional setting with the real cameras and the whole crew behind you. So all in all, I've found Toastmaster to be a very positive experience in my life.
And you make Toastmasters a positive experience for your club too. Here's another one for you. Imagine you have to fill in a couple of minutes for the the title speaker, the special speaker. The speaker's late. So imagine opening the event and fill in a couple of minutes entertaining us until the speaker arrives.
Well, I grew up in a family that had 3 children. My oldest brother was 9 years older than me, Stephen. The middle brother was 6 years older than me, Danny. And then there's me, the baby, not only from the immediate family, but the whole extended family. So Stephen would tease Danny, and Danny then would tease me. And he didn't wait for me to cry. He just saw that lower lip quivering, and he knew he had me. And that made his day. He was so happy. And he didn't care if my mother and father were screaming at him afterwards, leave your sister alone. But once we both left the house, Danny became my protector. But he did invite me to college, and I thought, oh, I'll get to meet college men. This is going to be fun. So I brought a friend, and we go. And once at Danny's dorm, I asked where the restrooms were, and he told me, so I go, and then once I sat down, I looked and I saw hairy legs next to me, and I thought, oh no, I'm in the wrong restroom, and I ran out to tell him, and he said, it's a co-ed dorm, Barbara, and that's okay. Now, I got dressed up one night to go to a club again to meet college men, and I thought I was dressed pretty well. And as I'm going through the club, the guys would look at me with a big smile and then a look of horror. And I turn around and it would be Danny growling at them like, don't even think about looking at my sister. Now I said, Danny, get away from me. You're cramping my style. The whole point of this was to meet college men. What are you doing? Get away from me. Now, once I was old enough to buy my own home, Danny drove from Southern California to where I live in Northern California to Home Depot, bought a tool chest, filled it with every tool imaginable, plus bought a huge ladder. I didn't even know he was coming. He rang my doorbell. I open the door and I see him holding a toolbox and a ladder, and it just made me cry. So now he can't stand me crying. So I have to tell him, it's good cry, because there's always been unconditional love in my heart, and that includes my brother Danny. Thank you.